What's up, Suril? How's it going?
Good, bro.
How do you like the setup behind you?
It's looking pretty phenomenal, yeah. I mean, this feels pretty unreal right now, you know. Bitcoin has come a long way. I've seen it at $12.
What?
Now I'm seeing it at $120,000. I mean, it's just a phenomenal feeling. Something that was just an experiment is proven to become the most valuable asset ever created in history. After gold, it's Bitcoin, and it's such an empowering instrument of trade. The world has literally woken up. When I saw Bitcoin go from $12 to $100, that was a day for me, right? That was a big day for me. And then when I saw from 100 to 1,000, that was another day for me, right? And over the period of time that I've been involved in Bitcoins, I've only seen it go up. I've not seen it go down. I mean, there are those fluctuations, but what I want to tell people is that, Bitcoin is stable. My one Bitcoin from 2012 is still one Bitcoin today. It's not become 1.5.
Right.
It's not gone down to 0.75. The US government, which has printed trillions of dollars, which are just circulating around the world to identify and buy new assets. And Bitcoin is that new asset which they have discovered, and they're buying it, and they're ready to throw their dollars to buy Bitcoin. See, I'm confident that if India adopts Bitcoin, we'll be a $35 trillion economy in no time. I'm not talking about $5 trillion economy. I'm not talking about the fourth largest GDP. I'm talking about 35 trillion. And Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies are going to be leading us into the next wave of evolution. They are evolutionary products, for lack of better words, evolutionary systems. And we've been in the digital age now since at least 1990. We are in the 35th odd year of digital world, right? And the world has changed drastically. And we are seeing things that were works of science fiction have become scientific realities. There's this massive industry of surveillance. It's the biggest industry in the world today, is surveillance. Chain analysis is one of them, but then companies like Palantir and Masari and Andronil and all those companies, the companies which are involved in the business of surveillance, they are the ones who are really making the big bucks today.
Yeah, because data is important, right? And being in a transparent industry like blockchain, I guess maintaining that data, indexing it, and making sense of it is how you get one step closer to regulation. How do you think blockchain infrastructure would be adopted within our own centralized economy? Do you think you ever see that happening?
I mean, blockchain is already there. The system is there. And if you look at all these regulators, they are just the gatekeepers. They are just like, they have the key and they have the lock. So they'll lock you up or they'll open the locks. It's like the good guys and the bad guys, right? We've always perceived the governments to be the good guys and who they are chasing, the bad guys. Now what happens is that the government itself sees its own reflection, and that's what's scaring them. What Julian Assange did with WikiLeaks is just that, right? Like showing the mirror to the government that, look, you're calling all of us criminals. You are also a criminal, and you can also go rogue, right? And that's the blockchain. And that transparency has already happened. People know that they're being watched. People know that the government is not always looking in their best interest. Sometimes they're looking in for their own self-interest, and then they're making it look like patriotism and stuff like that.
So do you think India will be able to change its stance on Bitcoin and crypto and blockchains, given that they have been so rigid with their taxation and been so...
I mean, I don't know if you read today's Economic Times. I mean, I sent you the article. The CBDT, which is the Central Board of Direct Taxes, is asking for recommendations for the policies. It's come in the Economic Times today. And that article, even Kashif Raza, Bit Innings, he has also posted it, and I actually saw his post, and then I was like, oh my god, this is
A
a
big
very
move.
big move,
Absolutely.
a very positive move, and
For
I
sure.
believe that the government has begun to understand the importance of this. They see that India has a good potential, but what happens is in India it all becomes a political issue, so you have the opposition and the ruling
Yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah.
There's an election in India almost every single year.
Our neighbor Bhutan has set a prime example for what Bitcoin has done for their economy and for their nation. It's the same thing that happened in the US, right?
Yeah,
Eventually, both the
I
left
mean,
and right wanted
it's
it.
like when you
They were
have,
pro
I
Bitcoin.
mean, US has not been able to ban TikTok. It's a Chinese app, and they have been trying and trying and trying, but they're not able to. A lot of this is related to the influencer economy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And a lot of these guys who are on TikTok are earning in bitcoins,
right, right.
right? So whether you take TikTok of the world or you take Instagram Reels, you take whatever, and this the rate at which things are going viral, the virality of content today is unfathomable.
But don't you think what's going to happen to India is really sad, where the government has told people to stay away from Bitcoin and crypto for the longest time, and then
But
when they
but
opened
the
a
thing is,
window for
the Supreme Court has
experimentation,
been in favor. It's not you can't say the whole country or the whole government. Supreme Court came out in favor of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
true. But then
And the only issue is that it's not been publicized enough.
and what
The
about the taxation
awareness,
that's been put on the entire crypto industry in India? That
right?
doesn't seem very
That
favorable.
the government has some hesitations. They're like, if crypto comes in people's hand, they'll become very powerful. They'll be very empowered. They'll be very awakened, enlightened, and then they'll start questioning.
But
And
don't you think the government could have thought in a different way that, hey, this is a nice technology. Maybe we can actually use it to create a whole new ecosystem where maybe other countries don't have a CBDC, but something like China does have a CBDC. So we release an INR stablecoin, which is like a
yeah,
CBDC, National Stablecoin of India. And anyone who would like to enter this stablecoin can do so and buy the stablecoin for a 10 or 15% premium. And anyone who would like to sell that stablecoin for back into fiat in any currency can do so at a 10 to 15% premium. Anywhere in the world can be open for FIIs, can be open for domestic investment. Government earns when anyone enters, whenever anyone leaves. And whenever anyone has that asset, it still is in INR. Don't you think that would have been a better way to go with it?
the government doesn't think that far. They think in the next election, will I get elected? Will I get my seat back? Everything in India is surrounded by elections and politics. India is a country of political entrepreneurs. I mean, if you look at any farmer, farmers don't pay tax in the country, but you've seen how much money the farmers are raking in. And the first thing they do is they'll sell, once they sell their land and all of that, they'll go buy a white color sumo or a white color SUV. They'll buy completely white clothes and they'll start wearing gold around their neck. And then they would get elected. So it's like thugs becoming politicians, right? It's it and that's the cycle that has been going on in India for the longest time. There have been intellectuals who've come in, but more or less they are just more like silent spectators of the whole circus that's being played out
One
here.
question for you, Suril. You said that farmers aren't taxed. I know fishermen aren't taxed either. In fact, even the transport industry has subsidies on taxation because they're all service industries that bring in a lot of revenue and drive a lot of GDP for our nation. Don't you think mining is a good way of turning electricity into
That's
an injection
I'm
of wealth for our country?
that's what I'm saying. People are going to get empowered. People are going to have wealth, and that wealth which the government can never seize it,
Hmm.
right?
They
If you
can if they have it in their own CBDC, like I just
No,
said
but
earlier.
if I'm holding bitcoins and if they want to seize it, then they can't. If it's in my private, obviously, anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
right? Tax is a form of extortion, according to me. And inflation is hidden taxation.
Yeah.
Through tax, it's now becoming tax terrorism. And taxes, I mean, the government keeps on telling you more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. Half the goods price of your goods goes in taxes, more than half in some cases, right? You pay tax on the money that you've already been taxed on. And this game of tax is what is a it's a very dirty game. You are enslaved to the government, whether it's India, US, Ukraine. I mean, that whole propaganda that's being played out, patriotism, and give your life for your nation, and all that is obsolete, because today we are in a digital world. We are connected. Surveillance is, you don't need to have a passport, you don't need to have a visa. You can have all your identity and all of that on the blockchain, and 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 then you can have access to all the, so mobility of people becomes very easy.
Have you employed any staff from other states into your own house?
Yeah,
Have you taught any of them Bitcoin?
they've seen me around. हमको समझ में नहीं आता है, पर हमको मालूम है ये बिटकॉइन बहुत बड़ा है. It was, I think, 2021 or 2022, and it was Diwali, and I was like, I wanted to give a gift to all my lawyers, back office, all of them. So then I was like, let me call up my friends at Uno Coin, and I told them that, can we create like this system? All the people who open account with you can open it, and they'll get 5,000 rupees, and they can spend it on any which way. I'm not telling them which coin to buy. I'm not telling them buy Bitcoin. I'm not telling them buy Ether. I'm saying, here's 5,000 rupees.
All your liberty along with it.
Go and a lot of them still don't understand it, and these guys are like high up, their lawyers, right? And I think they are too scared, but now they are not that scared.
What do you think the prime reason of fear was? Like,
It's because I think you get harassed, right? If you are doing anything in crypto, anything substantial in crypto, like people are doing a lot of things in crypto, but anything that catches the eye of the government, they are scared of that.
Don't you think the central authorities and the media are both very
collision,
highly...
they're working together.
Don't you think they're responsible for this fear, uncertainty, and doubt within every individual?
I mean,
Indian
because that's where they make their money.
Would you still recommend people to go in and take heavy positions in Bitcoin at this point in time?
I would say yes, because Michael Saylor says yes. Okay. He's been buying it, right? And you have examples in India as well. I mean, Jet King is for one of them.
Have you ever been able to spend your Bitcoin anywhere?
I spent my Bitcoin, very interesting you asked me that, because I made a documentary about winter sports in Afghanistan. And I gave a few Satoshis to my director who was editing and directing the film, Nasi Khande. And I told him, we'll just make a statement that this documentary has been funded by Bitcoins. And then I'd use my Bitcoin. So if you remember the 26/11 attacks.
Yeah.
So at that time, there was a Jewish center which was attacked.
Yeah.
So the rabbi who was there, his brother is a very dear friend of mine. And his brother was killed in the Gavi Holzberg. The rabbi was killed in Nariman House during 26/11.
Nariman House was the spot.
So his brother wanted to come to India when Netanyahu had come to India in 2018,
right,
in January or something like that. So at that time, I don't remember what the price was, but I told him, I'll give you one Bitcoin. Why don't you come?
Wow.
Yeah, and then 3 I lost in a bad ICO.
In a bad ICO?
Yeah, so there was this company called Search Trade, and
okay.
So I don't want to get into that, but that was I mean, it's okay, it's gone. I mean, I had a few Bitcoins on Mt. Gox, and my friends had set up the account for me, but they forgot the email address and all of that. So those coins are just gone.
Oh, damn. How many coins were those?
I don't 40.
40 Bitcoin. Thank you. At least we know Bitcoin won't go to zero because you bought those at some point. Thank you so much. I would like you to give a shout out to our country. I know there's a lot of friction when it comes to anyone wanting to open up towards this technology. I know kids that are asking their parents, but their parents are a little hesitant. So, is there anything that you could put out there and say out there to like change the way people think and create an impact and motivate people to make the right choices in the right way?
I would say when you think of Bitcoin, think that you are in a fight for freedom. We've been serfs and we've been slaves, and now we are called consumers, and then we will be called citizens. So it's these. So we have to break through all of them. So you are defined by what you are, what how you speak, not by a flag, right? I mean, flags are good, they're beautiful, but they're not the only reason for your survival. I mean, it's and Bitcoin is the currency of peace.
All right, Suril, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure having you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell anyone? Is there
No,
last words?
I would like to give a shout out to Whitey Cracker because he was the one who really got me interested in Bitcoin. His Bitcoin Baron single is one of my all time favorite, and I like before I get into this Bitcoin zone or a Bitcoin event, I blast it wherever I am.
Well, awesome. We're going to make sure this video reaches YT Cracker and shows him how inspirational his track has made everyone around. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Suril, once
you.
again. Have an amazing day ahead. Cheers.